Crazy people make me scared. They scare me. People who are irrational, people who are sociopaths, people who are greedy, people who are bullies, people who are self-serving.
You ever hear a story where like you of someone in the past that lived their whole life not knowing some fundamental untruth that they lived under and died never knowing, and having heard that story, thinking about how sad that is, that somebody lived their entire life in a falsehood. I mean, that's a tragedy, and I would never want to have that happen to me. That's like a huge fear.
A lot of people have a support system that includes their parents and their family, but that's not something I have. So I have to depend a lot on my friends, which is hard because they're also going through the same things that I am at the same time that I am. My biggest fear is losing the support system that I have, because it would make the future and the unknown so much harder.
Almost drowned in Lake Michigan. I had TB hospital for 8.5 months. I had a bout with tonsil cancer, and I've had a knife prodded in my back in an altercation. I've stood toe to toe with somebody who was unhappy with his girlfriend being with me, and I don't know. I'm not afraid to die, not afraid to live. That's better than not afraid to die.
I'm afraid of not having any plans in the future or the near future. If I have no plans for what I'm gonna do, I just don't know what I'm gonna do, and I'll just sit there or stand there and staring and doing nothing, and that doing nothing would make me feel really bad.
My favourite objects that I live with are things that other people make. I don't like things that are mass produced. I like spoons that are hand carved. I don't like things that don't have a story.
Something to do with motorcycles, motorcycle parts. I found out I have a Mustang and I have a rare radio, so that's one of my favorite objects. And it's mainly something mechanical. Although they sold 240-some thousand Mustangs the first year of sale, very few were optioned out with the FM radio because there weren't that many FM stations in '64 when they came out. So it's just a rare radio that's quite valuable. And I paid $500 for it, and I saw one last Sunday at a Ford show going for $3,500, the same radio that I have at home.
But my grandfather had this watch from, I think it was given to him after like years of working at a job when he was younger. So it's kind of a neat possession of his that I remember him by.
The Met is my favourite place on earth, maybe. It holds every country in the world under a glorious roof. And I'll go there with no plan or one object to see. And it just holds what people have done for centuries. And it seems that whatever anxiety you have or whatever troubles in the world or whatever government is in power or annoying you, that it seems transient by comparison to the history of the Met.
Everybody's different, I listen to everybody's stories in here, everybody's got a different story. And I either say, boy, I'm glad I'm not him, or boy, I wish I was him. Very seldom do I say I wish I was him, because I like where I am, But you get to see people in different stages of their life.
I like people if they're curious people, if they're engaged people. person who's full of wonder in the world and asks questions, and a person who's doing something interesting and off the wall, you know, like this. Like somebody who's looking for the last mushroom in the world, or somebody who's fascinated with how color works, or a psychologist, or somebody trying to find a cure for something, or somebody who does something well, like basket weaving, or somebody who farms with great integrity. Yeah, I like to go out and find people who are interesting.
I've never really had like a large group of friends. I just have like my 4 close friends. And I feel like as a whole, I like people, but as, I guess, as individual people, I don't like people, because I don't feel like I'm comfortable around most people, and you can't really expect, or you can't really know what someone's gonna do, which kind of scares me, I guess.
There's this multiple reflection thing that happens with all of your circumstances and your experiences and how you choose to react to certain situations and that sort of thing, and then how you believe other people view the way you have reacted to things, so give you kernels in which to cement your identity around. Like, oh, I like the way it made me feel when people saw me react this way. I'm going to be more like that.
When I was here for half a year and haven't contacted my family a lot, when I went back to China, everything just conflict me a lot. And that was a very puzzling time for me, because they, like, a part of their concerns that if I'm here too long, I would be missing their inheritance and tradition and cultural stuff. But they are very afraid of that happening. But part of me, when I engage in U.S. culture more, sometimes I have different opinions on stuff with them, and they really want me to convert to their value instead of persisting my own.
Love is so fleeting, you know. I've loved a lot. My kids, number one, my wife, and I still love a bunch of my past girlfriends too.
I love my parents, I love my family, and I love my friends. And I love myself. Yeah.
So my language of love might be different than when I was 20, when I believed in a different kind of love. That was more about a crazy passion. And I think as I get older, I think of a slower, longer lasting kind of love that's about respect